let's talk about Lego for a second. So Star Wars Lego has been a bit of a mess lately, a bit of a disaster, if you will, because for whatever reason, Lego decided to sort of do a poor job on their latest Star Wars sets, and it's got fans absolutely peeved. Lego Star Wars fans are livid at the moment, actually, and I don't fully understand the full drama behind this, but from what I have seen, and I've seen this from M&R Productions, I've seen this from I think like Wilson Figures. I've seen it from One Stud. People basically looking at the latest summer sets for Lego Star Wars that are coming out soon. They've been checking it out. They've been looking at what Star Wars Lego has got to offer. And they've been really disappointed. Either it's leaked sets that we saw months ago that everyone knew was getting released anyway. That's sort of like part one of this. That's sort of the first problem with this is that it's all leaked sets that they'd already seen, and it's not that many of them anyway. So people are like, okay, cool. That's the big announcement, stuff we've already known about for months. But the sets that they were hyped about, I guess there was a Gunship set that people thought were coming out, or maybe got leaked or something like that. That was really, really hyped up. People were so hyped for that announcement. I believe it was the same, what is it called? USC or something? Gunship? Basically, there's a big Chungus line of Lego Star Wars stuff. There's a big Chungus line of Lego Star Wars stuff. There's the big Chungus Millennium Falcon, which is huge. It's like a massive version of the Millennium Falcon. I think it retails for like $800. I'm sure people will correct me, but it's something like that. It's huge. And then I'm pretty sure there's an Imperial Star Destroyer one too, right? And it's, again, huge. And so I guess they were going to do a Gunship one of those, and people were really excited about it, and then Lego just didn't announce it. And instead they announced these sets that were kind of a letdown / people already knew about them for forever. And so people are now sort of peeved at Lego. And so Lego's response to this on Twitter was to go ahead and shoot a video of a kid dressed as the Mandalorian. Oh, and it's raining outside. Just a little tidbit there. It's raining outside. There's a kid dressed as the Mandalorian, and he is standing on top of a building. And then there's a kid dressed as Ahsoka Tano holding a Lego Baby Yoda in her hands. And there's a smashed pile of Legos in the middle. And the Ahsoka Tano girl reaches out with the Force, and slowly, this pile of Legos shapes into a small little light cruiser, a Lego light cruiser sort of a thing. It reforms, and it starts to shoot up into the sky, and it eventually is re-grasped by the boy who is standing at the top of a building. This was all shot pretty terribly, if we're being honest. Like, this is some amateur stuff. I don't know if Lego was just having fun, or they just wanted to release something to do with this drama and didn't want to spend the time to make it nice or something. But literally, you can tell how it was shot. I mean, it's no secret. The kid yucks a massive Lego set over the edge of the building. It crashes on the ground. They film that, and then they film the girl reaching her hand out. And then what they did is they simply just reversed that footage so it looks like Ahsoka Tano is rebuilding the Lego and throwing it up to the kid, who's dressed as the Mandalorian. So that's all it is. That's what the commercial is, and it's a bunch of people, and it's the Lego set. The Cruiser is the Lego set that people were super disappointed about. I think it's not only the fact that the Cruiser was a little bit disappointing to see, and they already knew about it coming out, but I think it's also the fact that the Cruiser isn't really well made. I think people are really upset with the set design of it, and they're really disappointed. I saw a lot of people going to onestud.com and just comparing his custom cruiser. It's the exact same ship. His custom cruiser, which, is designed by his shop, not official Lego. And they're comparing it to the Lego version. And it's just, his is astronomically better, you know? And other people who have made the same set, theirs are astronomically better. And Legos is just getting trashed on by people. Excuse me, I gotta take a sip of ginger ale. The DaleyTactics Podcast is going on for a while. I gotta get my throat going. And so people are really mad because this Lego cruiser that they're getting, which isn't what they wanted in the first place, looks really cruddy. And not only that, Lego, by, releasing this video of it getting smashed, a smashed version of it, and then getting rebuilt by Ahsoka and thrown back up to the Mandalorian, it's almost like Lego is saying, whatever, you're still gonna build it. Who cares? It is what it is. We're releasing this. We're not gonna fix it. This is what we're releasing. Even though all of you hate it and it's shattered on the ground, we're going to still launch this thing. We're still going to rebuild it and release it, and you're going to buy it. And I think that's why people are so peeved. I think it's funny. I think it's a dumb video, and that's what makes it funny and great. And I think it's a really bad marketing strategy, and it pissed off half of the Lego fan base. But at the same time, it pissed off half the Lego fan base, and I think that's why people are so mad at Lego Star Wars right now. Not only do they kind of release nothing that they wanted, but, the things that they are releasing for the summer Lego sets are really disappointing. They're not getting their gunship, and instead they're getting this thing. This thing is what they're getting, which is a big letdown. At least I think the gunship is the LAAT gunship, the big version, the big Chungus version, like the Millennium Falcon Big Chungus. I think that's what it's supposed to be. Or it might be the Bad Batch gunship, but I thought that already came out in the spring. I could be wrong here. I don't know. If this does go up on YouTube as a little clips video about Lego Star Wars, just so you know, I'm doing a podcast. It's available on all the major podcast outlets, Spotify, Apple Music, etc. But I'm doing a podcast, so I don't have research in front of me or anything like that right now. I'm just sort of off the top of my head doing it. But this is actually a good topic for the main channel. I might just release a video of this, sort of explaining about it and talking about it, because I'm curious to hear other people's opinions on it. Because I know I have a large Lego community in my following, and I myself am a fan of Lego. But I'm not really a fan of Lego Star Wars in the fact that, I get really hyped out for the sets. I get more hyped for the minifigures, and I get more hyped about building my own stuff. And I think that's half of the Lego fan base. I think half of Lego people are really into the sets. They're really into the sets, and so for them, this was a massive letdown. But then for the other half of Lego fans, like me, they're really into being able to build their own thing, make stop motions, make mocks, and minifigures and stuff like that. And then, of course, there's people who like both, But I do think there is sort of a split in the Lego fan base. So I think the people who care less about what Lego sets are actually getting released and care more about just having parts, having minifigures, things like that, I think they're not as mad, because I'm not that mad. I knew I wasn't buying the cruiser anyway unless I made it for a video, which maybe I will, but even then, I still just like building Lego, so I don't think I'd even be that mad about it. But those who love getting new Lego sets, this is their hobby. Their passion is building every Lego set that they can get their hands on and displaying it and being able to play with it with their kids and things like that. I think this is a big letdown for them, And I think people were really hyped about the gunship too. It's the dual thing, It's not just the fact that people are mad that the gunship isn't being released. And it's not people just mad that they're getting a cruddy version of a cruiser. It's both combined. It's not one or the other. It's the fact that both are happening simultaneously, which I think is really galvanizing the community and making them all mad. And they're all mad at Lego, I think that's what it is. Now, I do think there's a lot of YouTubers out there, Lego YouTubers, who I've clicked on their videos, I've watched them, and I think they maybe complain a little bit too much about Lego. I think people sometimes expect too much from a business. Even though Lego's a good business, who has good business practices, in my opinion, I think sometimes people expect too much from a business. at the end of the day, it's a business. They're not here to make every single consumer out there happy. They're in fact here to make money. And that's pretty evident by the astronomical prices that Lego sets, you know? And I think there's a lot of people out there who just expect too much of Lego, and they complain a little bit too much about it, and they forget that at the end of the day, Lego is a business that's trying to make money. Not that that's not that I forgive them or excuses their actions or anything like that, but it just makes sense to me, you know? Maybe set your expectations a little bit lower in the future when it comes to big corporations releasing things. I mean, I know it's hard. I get it. I'm always enraged at video game makers and things like that. But simultaneously, like, you know, corporations aren't always the good guys. In fact, they rarely are. And I just see a lot of Lego YouTubers getting really incensed about things and really, really peeved off. And I think sometimes people got to remember that these corporations aren't your friends, and you shouldn't expect good things from them all the time. And I think it's good that you fight for good things, but remember that they're corporations and that they will stab you in the back for money. It's what they were built to do. So don't always be super trusting or super optimistic. Take things that come out with a pinch of salt, and just remember that it's not always going to go well or always going to go the way you want it to with these corporations. You know, I don't know. Just there's a lot of Lego YouTubers out there who I watch their videos and I just go, well, what did you expect? You know, what did you expect them to follow every piece of advice that you put out? You know, I don't know. It's just me. That's just me. Either way, guys, that's probably going to be about it for today. This was the first episode of the podcast. This is it. So thank you for watching. Check me out, Daily Tactics, on all major platforms.